Steve, we're going to start with you.
Sure.
Because in the 4 years that you've been at the helm of Adtalem, you've taken the stock price from $19 to $140. And part of that has been leaning in directly into healthcare specifically, but you've also been reading the tea leaves early on AI. So talk to me about what your strategy has been at the helm of this company.
Yeah, so we've rationalized our portfolio to get down to 5 institutions that are all healthcare focused. We believe that the secular demand trends from a workforce perspective in healthcare are large and durable. And these shortages create a really attractive addressable opportunity for us. So we're the largest producer of physicians, nurses, social workers, and veterinarians in the United States, and it's a really privileged position to hold. As it relates to artificial intelligence, we think that 2 industries where resistance to change is really, really high, education and healthcare, are absolutely going to be changed by artificial intelligence. And so in addition to getting our own workforce ready to take advantage of these innovations, we're actively looking for ways to partner with others to ensure that we drive up the adoption of these innovations in ways that improve care. And just as important for us, give bandwidth back to clinicians in ways that allow them to practice at the top of their license, which all of our students aspire to.
I mean, Zach, we're here in Nashville, music capital of the country. You once had ambitions to be a jazz musician, played the saxophone in New York. Where did you go wrong? Why get into an AI healthcare startup?
Yeah, I was in the grind in New York. Still spend a lot of my time now as just a lover of that music and living in that sound world. But actually, my life kind of got a little bit derailed in my mid-20s by a chronic health problem. And it was that experience of kind of like seeing all the things that are amazing and all the things that are broken in the health system. And in particular, the ways that like we felt like we had this colossal missed opportunity to leverage all the data that exists to derive new insights, to drive better care. That kind of like got me like started turning about like, hey, like when I get back out of bed, like, am I just going to go back to doing what I was doing? Or so I had this, my education was as a math science kid, and I was thinking like, how do I use my training? Like, where's the area where I can have an impact in healthcare? And at that point, I'm in my late 20s, so I wasn't going to go to med school or like first start pre-med. But at the time, I had the thought that like, computer science and in particular, machine learning was a way that I could have an influence in healthcare.
And I want to stick with your business for a minute, because the healthcare sector is rightly cautious about AI hallucinations, and trust is such a big part of the conversation when I think about what Abridge does. How do you design models that earn physicians' trust while still moving fast enough to stay competitive? And also just like explain the scope of what your business is doing right now so the audience is acquainted with your work.
Sure. To start with the problem, we spoke about giving physicians their time back. The status quo was that we had created a digital world where technology was taking doctors away from their patients. Doctors were spending 2 hours doing digital paperwork for every 1 hour of direct patient care. The insight at Abridge was to build an AI platform for clinical encounters, to do all of the sort of like side work for physicians, to give them their time, their attention back. And so we integrate into the electronic health record. We also listen. We have, doctor uses the Abridge app to record the visit with the patient. And based on the spoken dialogue of the encounter and all of the information that we could observe from the health record, we're able to help them prepare for the visit. We're able to help them during the point of care. We're able to draft their notes for them. We're able to draft their orders for them. We're able to help them put together the patient-facing after-visit instructions. So it moves the physician from a position of having to stare at a blank slate and figure out, hey, I have a 15-minute encounter. How do I come up with 2 pages, 3 pages of documentation? To being more like the editor. And they're responsible for checking that everything is right and adding any additional details. That's saving doctors something like an hour a day. And it's giving back that ability to now like move their attention where it's better used.
And the tech is rapidly evolving as you've been building the business, but that hallucination problem is one that remains, even in the latest cutting-edge tech. So how do you navigate that, especially in healthcare?
Absolutely. There's lots of ways we evaluate. I think it all starts with, maybe in the first place, evaluation. To be rigorous about evaluating the outputs on real data, on real example transcripts, and to actually be able to quantify, and that gets tricky too, because then you say, well, ontologically, what really is a hallucination? And hallucination is kind of like a colloquial term that we have for like unwanted behavior of a model. If a model's saying something and you don't want it to be saying it, like we kind of tend to call that a hallucination. But when you actually start drilling down and looking at examples, it's a little bit more granular, right? Like we're used to, in the early days of AI, you would say something like, you'd give it the name of an animal that doesn't exist and ask for a Wikipedia entry on it, and it would make it, and we'd say, oh, it's completely like whole cloth fabricating things that don't exist in the world. In the context of medical documentation, imagine a case where you get a note that comes out and it starts editorializing it and adding some descriptions of like how the medication works or something like that for the patient. And it's like, well, if the doctor didn't say that out loud, it's not, even if it's plausible or even if it's a possibly like kosher explanation, it's like the job is not just to say something that's maybe plausibly true, it is to be faithful to the conversation that the doctor had with the patient, to not like be overly extrapolative. And so we have to get really crisp about what constitutes a hallucination, in our context, and then develop models that can catch them and can wipe them out. We developed a guardrail recently that's able to identify and eliminate about 97% of these utterances in real medical conversations. And it comes from anchoring, our approach. We're not trying to solve all of hallucination for all models in every context that term could be construed. It's about specifically eliminating the kinds of errors that show up in generated medical notes. And that's work that we've been proud to share transparently with a white paper and to put into production now, protecting the integrity of the notes that all of our physicians receive today.